What's up with it? Are we live? Yeah,
We're
okay.
live. Yeah,
Okay.
we're
Hey,
live.
what's up with it? It's 2026, as y'all know. But we for sure about to talk about something 2026. Go ahead, Davis.
Welcome back. Banks versus Davis. 2 episodes in 3 days, like how we used to do it back in the day.
Back in the day, I'm talked out. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
Nah, but this is the episode we promised you Sunday, but we had a special guest stop by, so we always make time for our very special guest. Shout out to Amp, shout out to Random Acts of Podcast. Banks and his episode, bonus episodes like they do every week, will be dropping tomorrow on their Patreon. Make sure you check that out. I always look forward to those. And then Tangent with Dodd and Banks. Make sure you check out the latest one. It was a good one. So shout out to the family over there at Random Acts. And they'll be back soon. So,
I think
hey.
today or tomorrow an episode should be out. So y'all tap in on the Patreon.
But here at Banks versus Davis, we are finally giving you the episode some of y'all have been waiting for, the 2026 movie preview. But first, we have to talk about the year that was 2025. Not too much, but still, there were some movies that you and I had similar takes on, some that we necessarily didn't fully agree on, and just some that we didn't see at all. So,
Yeah,
Banks, what was a few of your favorites first from 2025?
nothing except for Sinners and Superman.
Okay. You and I
I
briefly
didn't
talked
like
about
shit for
Superman.
2025. I could. Those was the only two movies. I can't think of anything else right now. So that's how you know it ain't important. Like when I went to the store earlier, I forgot two things. And I was like, see, that's how you know it ain't that important.
All right. You and I briefly talked about Superman in Dallas when we crossed paths at the end of All In.
Hmm.
I told you I thought it was fine, thought it was good. I reiterated my points a few weeks ago on Black Variant. Shout out to Van and X. And that's what I said. I thought it was a good but not great Superman movie. And overall, as a superhero movie, the same thing. I thought it was really good, not great. To me, I had said this on the show, and I'm going to reiterate it. I don't think James Gunn does, based off this, I don't think he does well with the big name characters as well as he's done with the smaller name characters. And the proof in that is Guardians of the Galaxy, which he made superstars,
Mhm.
the Suicide Squad, his version much better than David Ayers, and he did it with, I mean, a group of characters that were largely jokes like Polka Dot Man, Rat Catcher Number Two, King Shark, all of that, and then obviously introduced us to Peacemaker, which then led to a very successful season one and a very piss poor season two as we got this year because he was too fucking busy jerking Superman, and now they're already shooting Superman 2. And that's the thing. And over the course of the Superman movie, you can tell that James Gunn really got more into Lex Luthor, which is always the thing. Directors, writers, especially writer directors like James Gunn, like Chris Nolan, tend to love the villains more than the actual heroes. It's easier and more fun to write for a great villain. I mean, you just mentioned Sinners. Ryan Coogler and Killmonger is obviously an iconic version of that. Heath Ledger's Joker and The Dark Knight for Chris Nolan. So, like I said, I'm also someone who enjoys Man of Steel for what it is, which is the Dark Knight version of Superman. Do I think it's the greatest Superman movie ever? No, but I enjoy it for what it is. Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
Damn.
Oh, do you agree with kind of what I just said there, or are you still thinking I'm tripping or being a little too, critical of it?
No, well, a movie that's on my list that's coming out this year, we're gonna see what they talking about on that. For Supergirl, who is known, she ain't super known like her cousin, but we got to see how that play out. I think if they're gonna go the sympathetic route with that, and we'll talk about it more, then we'll see. But I get what you mean. I mean, this is first time doing that with like an American icon.
Yeah,
Probably like you know what I mean, him and a Hollywood blonde jabroni Hulk Hogan, they are the two. When you think of America, you think about them, and now you got to think about Trump. So yeah,
Okay, all
so
right. Why'd you have to take it there?
because the motherfucker, dude, I'm not talking about for good. The motherfucker known across the world ain't shit. So there you go. But you know what I mean. This is first bad at it. We'll see the second one. It's crazy because I predicted Brainiac ahead of time. So that 2027 list, hey, 2027 stack too.
To me, and that's what we'll get into the 20 at the end. Well, because there's only really like 6, 7 big movies announced at the moment for 2027. Um,
That fucking 6, 7 shit wouldn't even die.
but okay, all right. Why'd you have to again? Um, well, Sinners again. Sinners was my number one movie of the year. I posted my list. That I yeah I added it to here just to see. Yep. So my top movies, top 10 was Sinners at number one, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning. I mean, Final Reckoning. I always keep going because that's what they wanted to call it was Dead Reckoning Part Two. But the Final Reckoning at number two, Predator Badlands at number three, which you left off your list just a few moments ago because I thought you enjoyed it once you finally got to it.
Oh yeah, that was cool. That was
Yep.
straight.
Weapons at number four, which I don't think you've gotten to yet. But that's a guy who.
I couldn't finish it.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, it'll be interesting considering a movie on your list is directed and written by the guy who is responsible for Weapons. And number five, Black Bag by Steven Soderbergh, a very cool, basic spy thriller. Six, One Battle After Another, which I told you I didn't love as much as everyone else, just because
Hated it.
that's y'all hate it for the reasons that y'all
Hated
hate.
it.
Y'all hate it for the reasons that y'all hate shit, which is the racial politics of it all. But we're not going to dissect that here. It's going to take way too long.
That's one part of it, but otherwise, not. I just didn't find it fucking entertaining. I ain't like the Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Shit, since the Wolf of Wall Street. I ain't like the Revenant fighting the bear. I don't give a fuck. Mystical fought a bear. Well, he fighting them charges too.
Well, that was kind of the point after the Revenant. He really wanted to take a step back because he only really did Don't Look Up for Netflix, which is a terrible movie,
Oh, I know
and
about that
then
one. I watched that one actually. I'll take that back.
he did the Killers of the Flower Moon. So yeah.
I had no intentions of seeing that. I've seen Pocahontas before. I don't need to see it again.
Oh, all right. That number seven, I had F1 the movie,
Still
which
need to watch it.
is good for an F1 movie. It's not Top Gun Maverick like everyone wanted it to be in terms of like Top Gun Maverick, but with cars instead. Number eight, Friendship, which I really enjoyed. It's really the only basic comedy I have on my list, but it has some of my favorite laughs of the year. And at number nine, Thunderbolts, which I thought was the best superhero movie of the year, as I said on Black Variant. And then number 10, Eddington, which with Ari Aster's films, I really fuck with Hereditary. I think it is a masterpiece, especially a masterpiece of horror and art house horror. Midsommar is a very frustrating movie, but again, I respect the art of it. And then he did Beau's Afraid, which I thought it just angered me too much because one, it's super fucking long, and I'm already not a Joaquin Phoenix fan, so to watch Joaquin Phoenix do for 2.5
Damn.
hours
Thank
drove
you for
me
reminding
fucking
me.
nuts.
I'm gonna watch Joker too sometime this
Oh
week.
my god. Ugh. But this is actually he actually uses Joaquin Phoenix in a way that I kind of respect and admire, and that Pedro Pascal is good in it, and it's got a really good ending and probably the most poignant ending to a movie about modern society, especially post COVID and the current political climate. Not to, again, when your Trump statement speak about the larger world at the moment, but it's very, very, like I said, spot on to the way the world is and social media is. So that was my
Oh,
top
so
10
you
of
telling me I
2020.
should watch it, but
I don't think you'll make it 45 minutes in
why is that?
because it'd be the type of movie you're like, all right, I get it. MAGA, bad, woke, good. Because that's the type of movie it is.
Yeah,
But
I'll need to watch that. I read enough. I watch the news enough,
that's
and
why
I'll need to
I'm
watch
saying
it.
you wouldn't make it 45 minutes in. But there's other parts to it as well. And again, Ari Aster is a guy who wants to um, make you uncomfortable not so you can feel bad, but that's I think the point of his movies, just so you can really feel like again how real horror can be. And obviously, Hereditary is about satanic cults and paganism and all that, which isn't real, but people believe is real. Um,
It's
but
definitely real.
you've seen a woman with her head chopped off come to life.
No, but dude, again, the seances and again, I try not to have these conversations. I can't wait to do this the solo show because I can get into some shit. Maybe it's gonna be behind the paywall. Maybe we're gonna have a meeting about that, me and Amp. But because the stuff I be thinking about and reading about, I'm like, I don't know if you can say that in public, but who say la vie. But no, that stuff is all rooted in centuries ago. So why wouldn't it not be more emphatic now than it was before?
This is just like we talked about the other day with Godzilla and the dinosaurs and the crocodiles and all that about like what's real from back then, what carried over to the modern day. But
All of it.
I digress. Do I think 2025 was a strong year overall? As we
No,
had talked about in the last episode, there were a lot of movies that were just plain bad, made by really respectable filmmakers. The aforementioned Play Dirty, as I said, was terrible by Shane Black. Spike Lee's Highest to Low is very slow and very like eh.
dude, the
Um,
best thing to come from it is that meme with Denzel looking up. For somebody that don't have social media, he is memed all the time.
what else did I watch briefly just so we can? Um, okay, Fantastic Four, Captain America, Brave New World.
Oh shit, I like Fantastic Four.
What'd you like about Fantastic Four?
You know what? Because I rewatched it earlier today. Really, they made it was more serious because the cartoon. I'm a huge Fantastic Four mark. The cartoon and then the comics in general is cartoonish, obviously. But with this one, they made them a little bit more serious. But it's not so serious where it's just like, oh, this is dark. It was just very much so a family. It was family oriented. It's good to see that on the screen. And overall, it's the reason why it was only 2 hours. The Galactus part was fire. I liked everything about it, but we know the key component was the sun. That's the main reason why they made that
Yeah,
movie.
it's and that's the thing I felt out of all the Marvel movies this year, even though there were only three. This one was the only one that was really like a stepping stone to bigger stuff. I mean, Anthony Mackie did his thing in Captain America: Brave New World, but as everyone kind of agrees, it's a movie that was ripped apart, put back together, ripped apart again, put back together with the old parts and the new parts. It was Frankenstein into a movie that is like, huh, what the fuck's happening? Where did this come from? Why is this scene short? Why are we seeing this scene now? And then Thunderbolts, like I said, I think was really good at making one a really good action movie. The action in it, I thought was phenomenal, considering the director's not really an action guy based off his indie filmmaking background, which is why they gave him X-Men after that. Um, and it was, I think, really good with trying to be a serious, story about grief and processing that and all that. And my only issue with Fantastic Four is it seems rushed in its story, but that's because the story has to be rushed because the threat of Galactus and all that. But to me, it's just a movie that like I'm saying, like it wants you to get to the end because at the end of the movie, this is what we're actually trying to do.
Yeah, and
But
I'm gonna
all the
go and I'm gonna watch that. Like I watched it one time, I wasn't feeling it, but I'm gonna go back and watch it tomorrow. At this point,
but it's got two really good set pieces. The chase with the Silver Surfer through the black hole is really good.
I thought we was talking about Thunderbolts. That's the movie.
Oh no, no, sorry, it's talking about Fantastic Four. Just that because that was when you said you joined. And then like you said, Galactus at the end, and the way they used Galactus was considering it's the first proper use of Galactus on the big screen.
Right. Because in them Fox movies, it was just he was a black
Bullshit.
hole, so to speak. You
What else was on my list? Just overall in terms of what I've seen. Oh, Ballerina, very, very,
wait,
yeah.
that shit was boring as hell, bro. She wasn't even really walking nobody down.
It's what you want from an action movie, which is a bunch of action set pieces, but the story and the writing to get to the sequences is so bad. And again, a movie that was rewritten because this movie was supposed to have a second screenwriter, but when you watch the credits, Emerald Fennell, who's the one that was doing a rewrite, her name's not on the finished script, so they probably cut the shit that she wrote to be involved out. But the villain's boring, his plot's boring. They force a sister storyline that's like okay, I guess. Like they kind of alluded to like you look like your sister. It's just this isn't real spoilers because it's a movie that just wants you to watch the action. And I said this would be a disaster when it was announced because they picked Len Wiseman to direct, and Wiseman hadn't made a fucking movie since his version of Total Recall in the mid 2010s.
I like that one with Colin Farrell.
Yeah, he basically
Yeah.
got put in Hollywood jail after he made that, even though he was the guy responsible for creating the Underworld franchise. He made Yours and My Beloved Live Free or Die Hard. Um, but overall, I think he's a very poor action director, especially when you watch Live Free or Die Hard and all the cuts and edits in that movie. That's it's because it's trying to hide Bruce Willis's 40 stun doubles. Um,
Yeah, man. God bless Bruce Willis.
and this, yeah. But and this movie was rumored to have uh
Common.
shooting issues. No shooting issues because the studio didn't like what he was shooting. They brought Chad Stahelski, the guy who directed and is responsible for all the John Wick films, in to reshoot the action sequences, which is why you can kind of tell it seems like it's Anna de Armas at some points. And then I'm not saying it in a negative way, but then the stunt double for the rest of it because those are the ones that seem like they had to be restaged in terms of to get it, you know, better looking than what it was going to potentially be if Len Wiseman just was fully responsible for it. But
Yeah, and I went to watch that behind the scenes, the making of John Wick, the franchise. I watched it
yep,
on Netflix.
it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like I always love the making of movie documentaries, especially ones like that that actually have great behind the scenes footage. Actually, talk to a lot of people involved from the producing side to the crew side. You know, the actual star Keanu Reeves himself is great in it. So yeah, the Wick is Pain documentary, like Bank said, I think it's both on Netflix and Peacock. So check that out if you haven't, especially if you like the John Wick films. And then what else? You and I only kind of talked about him. I said I think him had a lot of good direction. I think Justin
Yeah.
Tipping has a good eye and might be a good director in the future, but as a writer, not there yet. And it's a script by two other people as well. And I think you can see and hear all the clash of ideas of what should this movie be? Should it be really grounded and serious, or should it be fantastical and over the top? It's a movie I think that struggled to try to be both when it really could have been one over the other. But Marlon Wayans is good in it, and he's really the only good performance in it. Tariq Withers is fine. He's not bad in it all, but he's just not doing too much, unfortunately. He just has to play off against Marlon Wayans' um, seriousness, comedicness, and you really get to see again that Marlon Wayans is an actor at the end of the day. So I respect it
Yeah.
for that. But everyone else in the film, poorly casted, poorly acted. It's a mess. But it's a mess at the end of the day where I'm like, I'm not mad they made it. I wish it was better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, him was it was pretty good. But again, if I forgot it, that mean it ain't worth mentioning. But it was a good movie. I liked it.
And there was some stuff I thought that was just okay that I kind of looked forward to, which was Havoc by Gareth Evans, a movie that took fucking 5 years to
That
make.
shit was trash, bro.
Uh, I it's got two really good action scenes,
It's
but
too
the rest,
much grotesque and gore. I'm like, God damn,
well,
dude.
Gareth Evans is he wants well, he's made a horror movie in the past, and that's what he started because he directed some of those VHS segments in the first two or three VHS films, and obviously he's responsible for the two Raid films as well. But his style is yet to combine horror gore with John Woo action.
Yeah, all them people that was getting clapped, I thought it was Hiroshima again.
But that's what you want. You want that ultra violence
Nah,
again. That
bro. I'm like, this shit taking them out more than the swine flu.
okay, but well, the Eddie Murphy documentary you and I talked about it on the show. We both enjoyed that. Um, what else before we wrap up? The Naked Gun movie I had briefly said was fine.
You
Um,
watched that shit?
yeah, I had a few good chuckles, but it wasn't like I said, it wasn't my favorite comedy of the year. It was Friendship was my favorite comedy of the year.
A few good
Uh,
chuckles.
then of these two, very disappointing in terms of
Yeah,
again a movie being years in the making. Oh, what the hell am I doing? Sorry.
yeah. Put the camera
Uh,
on you.
no, 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 no. Years
You
in the
didn't like the
making.
medium shot? Why you doing a long shot?
That's how we normally do it. Oh, the movie I told you about, Ash by Flying Lotus. That's a solid sci-fi thriller. If you check
I
that
like the
out,
soundtrack. I ain't see the movie.
and then the movie Warfare by Alex Garland. Again, I wasn't completely blown away by it. I respect its pacing about how brutal it would be to be trapped in that type of situation in Afghanistan. I think it takes place in Afghanistan because it's inspired by an actual event that happened with this um, Army Ranger group. So, and the Marines that come to rescue them. Either yeah, I think they're Marines instead of Navy SEALs. Um, it's paced slowly, but like I said, I think it's paced slowly to intentionally to make you feel like imagine going through this. It would be slow, excruciating, hell on earth. Um,
Wait,
so
what
I
happened
respect
again?
it's a mission again. Like the guy, it's people were mad that it seemed like a very pro-war guns guys in their gear type of action movie, but it's not really that. Like I said, it's just a mission gone wrong of guys that have to survey potential threats in Afghanistan or Iraq, and then shit goes wrong, and now they got to rescue their guys and get out of the situation, and it's a little bit platoon, a little bit Saving Private Ryan in those aspects of just like the sheer excruciating pain of like, you know, look at the guy next to you, that guy's gone now, you know, stuff like
Hey,
that.
what's that one movie that came out by Stephen King? What's that called? Walk?
Oh, The Longest Walk that came out this past year too.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
The other Stephen King movie that came out this past year was The Running Man. I had high hopes for that, and I'll speak to that a little bit later with two movies that are on my list. But we're about to move on to 2026, and we're going to start with Banks first, and his list of movies. So Banks, you have some movies that I don't have on my list, which won't surprise the viewers given our differences. So
Oh damn! Hey, shouts out to Davis for the graphics. I was like, I ain't got the list
yeah,
in front of me, big fella.
I told you I was trying to really do it up this year. So at number one, you got Michael, which you've been singing the praises of this movie for years and years and years since it was first announced. Basically, this has been one of your most forward to movies since I think they announced it 2022, right? 2021.
Yeah. And then I told you what was gonna happen. I keep trying to tell you what's gonna happen. Everybody told me that's worked on it, and I seen other people. Y'all not ready. And I look, I do my research. People on TikTok, they got their families watching the trailer and they breaking. It's over, dog. It's gonna hit 1 billion.
I think it will. You know, I talked about it when the first trailer dropped. Michael Jackson is still a superstar to this day, not just in terms of because he's no longer with us, but in terms of the way the music industry is. His power is still as strong as ever. Not
The
just given
second
people
most
he's
famous person in history,
exactly not just given the fact that he's inspired so many other current artists, but still like his songs
what you mean
play on.
artists? These goofies ain't no artists. These
Well, that's the thing.
karaoke singers,
Who are you talking about?
all of them except for Chris Brown.
Oh, okay, see, I knew you were going to try to say that Chris Brown's the closest thing we have to him, and it's not. He's not.
Hey, bro.
That woman
You,
beater. That woman beater.
hey, sometimes you just get some straightening out. All right.
No, Chris Brown ain't Michael Jackson. He'll never be Michael Jackson. End of
No, of
story.
course not. But he close to it. He close enough.
That's like saying fucking. Oh, I'm trying to think of a good example. Ah, never mind. Whatever. That's like saying
Right.
LA Knight's close to being The Rock.
Oh, no, now you just going way
No,
left
it's the
field with
same
that
exact
take.
thing. He tried to mimic him the same way, but do a little
And look
twist
where
to
he
it
at
of it.
now at home. lacing up his lug boots.
because triple bypass has an ego problem.
Yeah, but this
You can't get
actually is a
pops louder
person
than
he
I
should
got
hold
pops.
back. I
No,
co-sign this one.
no. All right, that's that. We'll Sunday's episode. We'll get to it. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Hell no, the
Thanks, Richard
playoffs on.
Davis. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that. Turn those notifications on.
Brother, we might switch that to Friday, the playoffs on.
I told you I am not watching these. I'm not watching any NFL now.
Because the
This slate.
49ers got beat, my Chargers
Not
got
just
beat.
that. Look at these outcomes. Denver, Los Angeles,
Hmm.
Denver, Seattle, Seattle, New England, or New England, Los Angeles. Who wants to fall asleep tonight? Whoo wee.
Yeah, if the Rams don't make it, yeah, dog, I'm nothing.
If any team makes it, you want to see Sam Darnold go 10 for 14 for 103 yards?
No, I won't be watching it.
Exactly. You want to
And I don't
see.
understand the damn word Bad Bunny be saying, so I'm not watching it.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa,
What you want?
Hey, hey, hey.
I don't understand it.
Wow, you say that wrestling Twitter is going to get you out of. You know you can't slander Bad Bunny.
Wrestling Twitter, I
Yeah, he
don't
had a
give. I'm
good
about to
match
say a
one
word I can't
time.
say. You think I care about some unemployed jabrones?
All right, let's move on. Avengers Doomsday at number 2.
Oh,
You are the one that is so hyped for this. You're saying Marvel will be back. Look what they're doing. They did the right thing by bringing back the Dream Team. Say what you want to say about Doomsday.
yeah, you gotta. I don't think I put it in order, except for like the
The list you
first.
sent me is what I had it. Is the way I entered it. So the list you
Yeah,
had is how I
yeah,
entered it.
it's not in order. Actually,
Yeah.
you actually did a great job as usual because the first three are actually in order. Everything else is just like I ain't care at that point. It's just like life. If you can't get the first three, it don't matter what four do whatever. But I keep trying to. I don't know, Van, listening. I know you listening to me. I know you hear me. I keep trying to tell you the ruler's back, bruh. We here. From everything that's being said, what little is being said, because they got this shit declassified information, and kudos to them. Ain't no spoilers, no leaks, nothing. They put this
Oh
shit in
no,
the vote.
these trailers have leaked.
Yeah, but that's it. And they probably let
Yeah.
that happen because this happened before in the film business. This happened in the music business. You
Almost
give
definitely.
people, you give people what you want them to know, but everything else, the fact that they got this shit super locked down, probably in a vote next to Walt Disney's hyperbolic time chamber. Yeah, but we here. I don't even have a lot of insight as to that. It's just it's Avengers Doomsday. So thank you for you know, that Kang Dynasty shit failing because I'm
uh,
glad that fell for him for so many
I'm the
reasons.
only one still like, no, we need to keep the Kang Dynasty story alive. I'm the only one who's like,
He might be there for a second, and that's good enough. You feel me?
I
Then
don't
he
even
going
think
back to
that.
play bodybuilder and being a weirdo, and he can do that.
Okay, that's bitterness talking y'all because this man doesn't have Megan Good in his life like Jonathan Majors does.
That don't mean that. I keep trying to tell you that's his beard.
Again, jealousy in the air tonight, I can tell.
But
Number
no,
3, The
that's it.
Odyssey. Christopher Nolan's follow up to his Oscar winning Oppenheimer. He said Hollywood gave him a blank check. Chris, you can do anything, even though you've been able to do anything your whole fucking career. What do you want to do? He said, I want to make Homer's The Odyssey, the Iliad. And they said, all right, pal, here's $200 million. Here's an IMAX camera. Here's anyone who wants to be in your movie. You got him.
And you know what's crazy? $200 million is really for when you do what's the term? I can't think of this. I know the term, and I can't think of.
Location shooting?
No, that because that's kind of cheap where they want to shoot it at. I think they went where Lord of the Rings was shot at. Uh, but a period piece. When you do a period
Oh, yeah,
piece,
period. Yeah.
that's costs most of the budget. The IMAX cameras and really the actors because he Mr. You already know he
Although
Mr. Practical Effects.
I do think he's one of those guys that actors probably take paychecks. I mean, pay cuts to be in his films. I bet
Probably
he
you
is one
don't
of
need
those.
to. Not for him.
I think it is one of those things where like whatever it takes to work with this guy, if it shaves off 25%, it's no problem for me.
Let me tell you something. Not with what's her name? Zendaya, Tom Holland, and Matt Damon agent. Ain't no pay cut, bitch. I need all that. Ain't no pay cut for them.
More money for me is what you're trying to say.
More money for me, like bro. Them three, no, ain't no pay cut. Zendaya is on the roll right now. Tom Holland, Spider Man. I'm gonna take a pay cut.
Let me read the cast too. So we got Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, as you just mentioned, Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, Benny Safdie, Charlize Theron, John Bernthal, John Leguizamo, Himesh Patel, Elliot Page, Corey Hawkins. All right. Ryan Hurst, who was just announced as Kratos for the God of War TV show. Um, Holy shit, there are a lot of names. Jovan Adepo, James Remar, Logan Marshall Green. Yeah, there are so, and these are people who, if you saw their faces, you would recognize. Mia Goth, Shiloh. Yeah, this is a William Lee. Yeah, this is a cast.
Why she ain't got no eyebrows?
Who?
Mia Goth.
Mia Goth. Ask Shia
Shia
LaBeouf.
LaBeouf is he stressed her out enough where she ain't got no eyebrows.
I think he stresses everyone out.
Yeah, that young lady, man. He too old to be around her anyway.
But are you a fan of? You said period piece. This is more historical fiction. Are you a fan of stories like the Odyssey
Oh,
and tales
all
like
the
that?
Greek mythology?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Cause you know why? The same shit that happened before is happening today. Nothing is new under the sun. I've been saying that all week. If you read these books, people, you'll learn it's the same thing. The punishment by the gods, it's the same thing. If you go to Roman times, we live in the Roman Empire called United States of America. It's imploding because of dictatorship. Sodom and Gomorrah.
Next up, we got Spider-Man: Brand New Day on your list, and that's speaking of Tom Holland, John Bernthal. It
Right.
seems their relationship working on the Odyssey led to Tom Holland being like, "Hey, you just showed that the Punisher's in the MCU. I want this guy in my movie." Because there's always those comic arcs in which the Punisher and Spider-Man interact. Even though it's the funniest, like ultra violent machine gun toting killer, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Right. And they're gonna need all that because they're gonna have the Hulk in here too.
The Hulk, a villain who's not fully announced. You want to talk about leaks or the rumors that it's going to be Mr. Negative from the Spider-Man Sony video game, and they kind of people presume that because the director Destin Daniel Cretton is of Asian descent. He was the director of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, one of my favorites of the post Endgame films in the MCU. So already this movie's going to have some great action because the action in that phenomenal. Let me see if it's shot by Bill Pope. Like,
They got Sandy Sink's
no, no.
character that's rumored to be probably Jean Grey.
If that's the case, I'm gonna walk out of the theater because God, that
You got to
woman.
get. I mean, they get into the mutants anyway in game, so now you got
But
to
she's
like.
not Jean Grey. She can't act. All those kids on that show can't act. The only one who's close is Caleb McLaughlin.
They grown now.
Well, I mean, that's my point is that they still can't even act like they're grown because they're that bad of actors.
Well, we got to see what happens when you get to the big leagues now. Welcome to the big leagues, kid.
But I mean, this is also the first Spider-Man without John Watts, who people kind of shit on, even though I think the way he did his trilogy was really good. The only negative was Far From Home, but that's a movie that had to follow Endgame immediately, which is the most brutal act you can do. Like it's Endgame comes out, and 2.5 months later, Spider-Man Far From Home. Like why are you gonna give me a Spider-Man movie when we just had the best superhero, well, best or biggest superhero movie, depending on your opinion of the last 10 years. So,
Yeah. I'll say Infinity War, but yeah.
all right. And then, why are you excited for Masters of the Universe?
Just to see if they could do it in live action in this era. Obviously, they had the older one with Dolph Lundgren. So, and
Never
I
seen
like
it.
Masters Universe, and I want to see what they could do now. They got that fucking vampire who played the vampire, Jared Leto Skeletor. That's on part because
Perfect casting.
he just probably disdains cheeseburgers or anything with a calorie, a protein. So that's perfect casting. I don't know who that jabroni is that's starring, but he's cock diesel to the sky from what I
Yeah,
seen.
he bulked the fuck up.
Yeah,
Nicholas
in a
Galitzson,
suit. He looked like
he's
John
kind of
Cena in
been
that suit.
he's kind of a pretty boy Netflix actor.
So it works. You ain't got to be no fucking Daniel Day Lewis to play He Man.
I don't know, but it's the thing where like without bulking up, he looked like well the stupidest thing about Prince Adam and then He Man is they're the same exact fucking guy, except he's jacked once he says I have the power. Same haircut, same face. It's just as you would say, super cock diesel.
To the
That's all that
sky.
happens. And no
Yeah,
one's like, hey, you look a lot like Prince Adam, He Man. What's going on here? Because they always, in the cartoon, even in the one that I grew up with, I didn't grow up with the original. I grew up with the one that they rebooted in
yeah.
early 2000. Uh,
On
that one was
Cartoon
dope.
Network.
Yeah.
Now you got to
And
go back and watch the one from the '70s, brother, or the '80s. It was
I've
the
seen a few. I've seen a few because when I didn't have cable, I had to watch. I can't remember what channel it came on with the antenna, but so I watched a few. But yeah, I mean, He Man. So that's the it's and I haven't seen what Kevin Smith what he did with his rebooted version on Netflix. I'm
it
watching
was
any of
pretty good.
those, and that was supposed to be a sequel to the original He Man. Like he said from the '70s, he was trying to pick up like how they did the Halloween movies with Jamie Lee Curtis and in 2018 and the other two after that. It was that same type of energy. Like we're picking up from the original story that ended back then. Um, but Idris Elba is Man at Arms, which is perfect casting.
Mm.
But
They got to release a trailer sooner or later. They shot this shit like 2 years ago.
well, this also is an Amazon movie, a Prime movie,
Well,
so it might
shit be
have
sinking, boss.
it. Well, no, it's supposed to be having a theatrical release because Amazon is trying to go into that direction of we are actually going to start trying to put certain
It'll
movies
be on Amazon Prime in a week after. That shit ain't gonna hit
in
like
a
that.
few weeks after, I imagine. But yeah,
Yeah, 2 weeks after. Trust me.
but this is directed by Travis Knight, son of the legendary Phil Knight. Yes, the inventor of Nike, the founder of Nike. This is his son.
Nympho,
Huh?
Nympho money.
He directed the Bumblebee movie that is actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
The one back in 2018. So
They trying to do this whole Mattel universe because everything needs a universe. Because Barbie
yeah.
made $1 billion.
All right. Street Fighter, the new Street Fighter. I haven't seen the original Street Fighter all the way through, and I haven't seen it probably since I was like 7 or 8,
Good movie. Classic.
if you say so.
Yeah, from our childhood, classic. They made
I go ahead.
they, John Claude Van Damme obviously was a star,
Yep.
and they made Guile the star. Or being Ryu and Ken, but they made them like the team boppers, so to speak. But they were still whooping feet.
I mean, how much do you love the Street Fighter video games?
Uh, this much, I really love it. I mean, it's probably I don't know. Like somebody was trying to have a debate about, and it's gonna be a movie we talk about later.
Yeah, in a
Ironically,
few
it's
minutes. Yeah.
like what franchise is better, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter? It's like, hey man, you can't put two bad bitches against each other, dog.
Must we?
It just depends on how you feel. Some, what day of the week. Sometimes I like this type of woman. Sometimes I like this type of woman.
You do the
I don't
Tommy
like it
Dreamer.
every day.
I have them both. I'll have them both. I'm hardcore.
Yeah, but then too much of anything is a bad thing.
Did you ever fuck with the animated Street Fighter ones?
Everything.
Okay.
The anime ones, they both of them. Street Fighter 2, the movie, the Generation, the one with Akuma, the cartoon that they briefly had, all that shit.
Our guy Rome says it isn't as bad as people make it
It's
out to
not.
be.
Hey, dope beats, dope rhymes. What more do you want? It ain't supposed to be a cinematic masterpiece. Like when people was talking about this movie, when the trailer or the teaser came out, people was like, "Oh, I'm hyped," and then some people were like, "This doesn't. What is
It
this?"
was
It's
also
like,
the briefest trailer that's come out in a while. It really didn't show too much in terms of story or people talking, but that was their point, which is it's Street Fighter. Did you come to see people act or did you come to see people fight?
and then the trajectory now, if something is good, is TikTok because people use that song and they edit it with other fighting games. It's something. And then again, it's supposed to be fun. God damn, most of these movies y'all see I want to watch are supposed to be fun. All right. The only one that's gonna be really dramatic is probably three or four of them. We got to get back to the essence of just having fun at the movie theater. And this coming from a guy that love dialogue driven movies. Damn, dude, sometimes I just want to see colors.
Speaking of colors, like you said earlier when we talked about Superman, the red, blue, and yellow will be back this summer. Craig Gillespie, I always can't say his name. It's either Gillespie or Gillespie.
Just say
He
whatever.
did
Do like me.
he did the Corella movie for Disney, which caused issues with Emma Stone and her payment in terms of box office receipts on that.
I still need
Um,
money.
he did. I also think he did Lars and the Real Girl. He's the guy who kind of went from indie film to decent sized movie productions. But this, I think, is the biggest movie of all time in terms of scale, production, all of that. Um, Millie Alcock is playing Supergirl. The internet won. They got Jason Momoa as Lobo finally because he wasn't cast as him a decade ago. Instead, Zack Snyder said, "You're Aquaman," and Jason Momoa was like, "Huh?"
Right.
Um, Even he said that himself. So now he's playing Lobo, which is his dream. And this
He
trailer,
got three movies coming out this year. Whoever his agent is, hey, bro, I owe you a rollie.
I mean, he needs to be working. Jason Momoa, let's not forget, was a guy that Hollywood, once he blew up, I mean, he tried to make it big in the Conan remake, which failed. Then he was on Game of Thrones, but he's only in like 4 episodes of the first season and never returns. And then Hollywood's like, this is going to be our next big action star. He did that movie with Sylvester Stallone that didn't perform well, Bullet to the Head. And ever since then, he's been in small stuff and obviously the DCU. And then he's more so being famous for being a good looking guy than he is a
Hey,
successful actor, which I'm not
it
mad at.
it's an image business. No, you're right,
Yeah.
but it's an image business. I think motherfuckers want you to be through ice stars and all that shit. No, bro, it's an image business. It ain't about you delivering lines. Motherfuckers don't come to see you deliver no lines. Now, if you can act and you look good, that's a plus. But if you just look good, motherfucker, they gonna throw you some bread.
And my point to this is what we talked about on the last episode, which Rome had asked if we were excited for the movie that he and Dave Bautista are starring. And I said no, because that's a movie that they forced Jason Momoa to be in. And I'm not saying in terms of like held my gunpoint, but I'm like, Jason Momoa needs a movie. What's the type of movie we can build around Jason Momoa? Let's make him and Dave Bautista brothers. Let's make it an action movie in Hawaii. AI, like I said, created that movie from scratch. So
And the fact that it's coming out Royal Rumble weekend and Dave Batista in it, the irony.
like he gives a fuck about the Royal Rumble.
No, he don't care about wrestling, but
No,
it's still
ask him.
crazy that that happens.
He'd be a funny guy to be on WWE Unreal because he would be like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Right, man. How much y'all gonna pay me?
Yeah. So that's Supergirl, which I mean, like I said, she's not as popular as Superman. She had the movie in the '80s. I've seen that one. My mom actually had that on VHS, so I've seen the original Supergirl from the '80s movie. Um, Pretty weird to watch that movie as like a young boy, because there's probably a lot of stuff I didn't pick on in terms of innuendo and all of that. And then I never watched the Supergirl TV show that Melissa Benoist was in, that they tried to make different from the Arrowverse, and then they forced it into the Arrowverse. So, yeah, overall, my thoughts on Supergirl are just okay.
Yeah,
As the advocate for women on this show, yeah. Now we got Mortal Kombat 2 after fucking 4 years since the first Mortal Kombat in 2021 when it was a day in, day out in terms of it was released in theaters but also released on HBO Max. That's the only way I watched it on HBO Max. I shitted on that movie when it came out. Uh, do you think they'll get it right this time?
They got it right the first time. Again, bro. What the fuck do y'all be wanting? Please, Rome. I don't know if you listen, little brother. Whoever listening, know this phrase. Dope by Fonte, the great Fonte, one of the greatest of all time. Dope beat, dope rhymes. What more do you want? I don't need no concept. The concept is there. They got Johnny Cage in this. Okay, now he gonna probably break the fourth wall. That's gonna make it funny. They're gonna have action in it. It's gonna look good. Let's move on. Like, dog, it's from a video game. Like what people always used to be like, and I get it because some video game movies are actually bad. Most of them are, but it's like it's from you went from fictional characters to fictional characters on the screen. It ain't that difficult. Yeah, wrong. Like we the older guys, so they just don't get it. Like, bro, we just here to have
I mean, I
fun.
grew up with the game in more terms, more so the mid 2000s versions of it, not the original as much. Except at the arcade when I would go there, I like golfing games or stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, Johnny Cage is one of my favorite. That is my favorite character in the Mortal Kombat universe, but one of my favorite characters, yeah, of all time, just in terms of fictional characters, as you and I like to say. But yeah, and then okay, how far have you gotten into Peaky Blinders? Because I have to finish the last two seasons, which I'll probably be doing this weekend since I'm not watching these football games, like I just said. But how far have you gotten into Peaky Blinders?
Shit. R.P. Clay Davis. Shit. I'm just starting season 2.
Okay,
So I
but
got
yet you're
time.
excited
Today I
for
got
the
time.
Immortal Man, the Peaky Blinders movie that Stephen Knight. It really only officially, I think, got greenlit after Killian Murphy won his Oscar. I think it had been in talks, and then once he won the Oscar for Oppenheimer, Netflix is like, okay, we'll make the fucking movie now. No, I don't think in a negative way, but like now we have the resources to put the money behind because we know people are gonna rewatch this show or binge the show if they've never seen it before because the guy who made Oppenheimer, uh, $950 million is going to be the star of this movie, like he was the star of the show.
And you're gonna pay
Peaky,
me like a star too, because after Oscar,
yep.
you get a huge pay
Well,
incentive.
Melissa Leo has been shitting on the fact that she thinks her career turned out worse after her Oscar win for The Fighter in 2010. She said she
Who
enjoyed her.
again?
In The Fighter, she plays the mom of Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale, but she was in the first two Equalizers. Old woman, red hairish, red blondish hair. She
Yeah,
always
but you
played.
wasn't the star, baby. It's
No,
true,
no, of
but
course.
you wasn't when you the star. That's when you get the pay incentive. But sometimes your career does go down for a second. Jamie Foxx did Stealth and Miami Vice after he did Ray. You know why?
When you
Because
take
now,
money jobs, yeah.
yeah, let me get this bread, then we'll get back to the essence. Like, look, I mean, again, somebody that deserved to get, somebody agent that need a fucking Rolly Christmas dinner, even in January. Robert Downey Jr. I did all the money plays. All
No, no,
right.
no, 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 no. That guy was already the biggest blockbuster in terms of like making movies. He was getting paid the most before he won the Oscar. He did
No,
that
but that's what I
phony.
was saying. He
He
did
did
it in
that phony
reverse.
shit. Like I'm gonna take acting seriously now. I'm gonna do it. And as soon as he got that Oscar, he said, "Now you're gonna pay me even more money to be back in this franchise
Yeah,
because I don't give a fuck about real acting,
yeah,
suckers."
I won. So
Fuck
now,
him.
win
Fuck him
me. Give me
forever.
the 80 million. You got me 80 million plus the incentives, and I get a percentage of a movie that's about to make $1 billion. Sound like a play for me. That sound like a smart play. More
Another
money
movie
for
that will probably
me.
make $1 billion is Super Mario Galaxy. I think you've questioned like why are they going straight to Galaxy, but again, I'm not too familiar in terms of Mario's story and chronology and all that, but it seems like they're just doing whatever because the first one worked so well. No
No,
ideas.
it's more so my fault to cut you off.
No, no, you're the expert on this, so go ahead.
Merchandise. Merchandise.
Yeah,
It's Baby Bowser. It's like I almost had the Mandalorian. I'm not really anticipating it. I'm gonna watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'm about to watch that. But with Groot or Groot, hey, more money for me.
oh
I'm
Grogu,
just it's
yeah, Grogu,
merchandise.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the first one. I won't see it, and I won't see this one. That's not a
Classic.
shocker. It has to do a little bit with the Chris Pratt casting as Mario, just because it still never makes any fucking sense that they went and got, you know, Christian ass Chris Pratt to be Mario. But
He did a good job.
I,
I didn't believe it
I
at first, but he did a good job. I mean, you ain't got to go, Mamma Mia, 1,000%. He looked like how Mario looks in the movie is
well, that's
how
the
Chris Pratt
animator's
sounds in the
job. That's
movie.
not Chris Pratt's job.
Yeah,
Like
but they
that's
made him sound like an older, not even an older guy. He sound like a 9 to 5 worker, so to speak.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm saying in terms of the Mario story of like the background plot and all that, like what sets up for him to rescue Princess Peach. But yeah, I mean,
Ain't no break. I'm about this. I'm sipping. I'm about to go rescue this bride. The second movie. Hey, we done trapped, we done locked up Bowser, but guess what? His jit trying to come after us. So now he about to get his jit. His jit about to get him out of jail, and now we got to go run it up. $1 billion movie right there. Boom, just like the video games. Simple as that.
but again, like I said, I'll give them credit because this is Illumination. They're responsible for Despicable Me, Minions, so the animation for this looks top notch,
Gorgeous.
especially for a sequel that came out. Yeah, it's 2024, right? Yeah, so two
Was it
years.
2023?
I think it was 2024.
Okay, yeah, 2 years later. I think it was 2023, but
Considering it takes a decade and a half to make a Spider Verse movie. Um,
yeah, they said next year. I don't believe it.
Eventually, remember that from the Amanda Show. I'll get to it. Eventually.
Yeah, get well soon.
All right, Resident Evil. We've already talked about two video game movies. This one, Zach Kreger, like I said, who was responsible for Weapons, really good movie. Barbarian, really, really good movie. He has already gone out and said, don't expect this to be the Resident Evil game as a movie. He's saying his mission, his goal is to provide the essence of the game into movie form. So if you're expecting like the characters from the games to be in this one, don't get your hopes up. Because I think he's just kind of flat out. He's saying he said this as a fan of the game. It's more so like they gave him the name and he can freestyle with it.
That's fine.
But
Cause
he's
I
a guy
already
who
about
has
to
the
get Resident
cachet.
Evil 9 next month anyway. So
Yeah, but he's a guy I think who has the cachet to do that. I'm trying to think what other movie was just kind of like that in recent history where they just took a name of something and try to it. Most of the time, it works negatively, but I'll trust Zach Kreger, like I said, who started out in Whitest Kids You Know. If you ever watched that, I never did.
I heard of it, but I never watched it.
Yeah, um, and for him to be this really well respected writer director is crazy now, especially in the horror genre. Um, Clayface. For every time I hear the name Clayface, I think of my youngest stepbrother saying it as a kid because he had a Clayface toy. He'd be like, "I like Clayface." He's like,
That's
"Davis, do you
hilarious.
like Clayface?" I'm like, "I get, he's okay, I guess." I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
I'm like,
Yeah, that's
I
the
never
best
really
way to break it
cared for
down.
the
Yeah,
dude,
I
but this is James Gunn's other attempt of trying to sonify the DC universe, and I say that as a put down because why do we need Clayface? Like, why did we need Morbius? Like, why did we need Madam Web? I get it. You have a horror background, James Gunn. You want to at least produce the horror movie for the DCU, but or his version of the DCU. But yeah, so Clayface. Did you just have it on here because it's just you might want to be you have low expectations, but you wouldn't be shocked if it's good. Is that why you kind of have it on here, or what?
from what I'm hearing, the first reactions is pretty good. This is supposed to be the actor movie. I'll just say that. And it's more so if you know the origins of the character and how he became that he was an actor and accident happened like it seems to happen all the time in Gotham. I'm just intrigued by the story, and it's based on vanity because this dude they casted somebody that's handsome, And then when he not handsome anymore, it's like, what do you do when you're not handsome anymore? Especially when you're trying to be an actor. So I think I'm looking at it from the artist perspective. That's
Are you
how I
trying to
look at it.
say that's me? That's me.
Yeah, but I think my days of being that are long gone far as being handsome. I don't know. Chat, give me W's if I'm still handsome. But no, I think, it's just one of it's just it's really based on vanity.
Yeah, and it's again, like you said, a tale of like all like the Universal monsters. Like it's a combination of Frankenstein, Wolfman, the Invisible Man, all that. Body transformation, body horror,
Yeah.
all that. Jackass 5.
Dude, I don't need to elaborate.
Again, it gives the people what they want, even though when you're watching it, you're like, I'm not sure I want to watch this just because it takes the turn for the worst, but people want to see it take the turn for the worst.
You always want to
Um,
see a train wreck.
I'm not sure I do at times just because that shit scared. Again, I couldn't get past the first one when they did the manila envelope slitting the webbing of your fingers. That
Yeah.
scared the shit out of me at 12 years old.
Yeah.
Um, Johnny Knoxville getting boxed up by Butterbean.
That shit was hilarious.
All of
Then being
that.
in
So
Japan.
yeah, and obviously the Hot Wheel up the ass, like
Yeah,
just
hey man. That
giving.
ain't even no
I
pause. That's just gay.
I was never a Jackass fan just because it did make me so uncomfortable. I'm not saying I hated it, but it was so hard for me really to want to watch more and more when I would just be terrified after it of like guys would really do this like no special effects like Johnny Knoxville wanted to be Evil Knievel. He went further than Evil Knievel ever could.
Right.
Um, Glorified stuntman? No, that's the real stuntman.
Yeah. He said if he get one more concussion, he up out of here. So he ain't
Oh
gonna be doing
yeah,
stuff to get hit in the head.
cousin Sal told a story one time on Bill Simmons' podcast where he's like, I was out doing something and I missed this camp thing that we were doing with other families, and then my wife said, "Oh, Johnny Knoxville's teaching our son to ride a bike." He's like, "Are we sure we want that guy teaching our son how to ride a bike? The guy's missing teeth and been in how many accidents? Are we sure we want
Right.
to have him teach the kid how to balance on two pedals?"
A dude that might knock himself senseless. I don't know if we want that.
Do you hope they have another tie-in to WWE like they did in 2022?
That'd be hilarious. Instead of Sami Zayn this time, they just get Austin Theory because he's a jackass.
Logan Paul, I think, would make more sense.
Yeah, but he gonna try to jump off a hippo or something.
Good. I hope he dies after it. But
Well, damn, you don't. I don't think you're supposed to do that, big fella. Let's go to the next
well,
movie.
some people deserve it.
All right, I guess so.
I haven't seen Godzilla minus one.
Instant classic.
That's what I've heard. Best Godzilla movie in what 20, 30 years? They said
No, it
maybe
ain't
30.
better than that 2014 sequel. It
You
ain't War of
really
the
hype up
Monsters.
that mid 2014 one.
I seen it. I watched
It
it.
it has 6 minutes of Godzilla, and that's it.
I'm talking about the sequel to it with Mothra and all that. What's the name of that shit?
Oh, that's fucking. That's
War
the
of
one
the
that
Mon.
came out in 2018, 2019. That's the King of Monsters.
Yeah, that's my shit right there. King of the Monsters.
Oh, I never saw that one with O'Shea
Yeah,
Jackson Jr.
that shit is
and
phenomenal.
Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah, I never saw that one. No.
And I'm a huge Godzilla market. That's my favorite one.
My brother would always buy the weird Godzilla DVDs. Like I
Yeah.
would buy the wrestling DVDs, and my brother would buy the weird Godzilla ones. And like when he would put them on, and there would be some shit that would border on. I'm like, this is kind of creepy, and not in the Godzilla sense, in terms of the sexual politics going on.
Yeah, it was on some
Yeah,
freak shit.
yeah. I'm like,
I
this is
don't want
kind
to do that, Commander in
of
Chief.
yeah. So, like I said, I'll have to finally get to Godzilla minus one this year. Even though this isn't on my list, but and the guy who did this is responsible for he's returning to do his own sequel, which is a good thing. You and I have kind of talked about it before about directors staying on for their franchises, or is it better to have a different director come in and do their own spin to it? This is probably a one word. I guess I'll take your word for it. If it's as good as you say it is, and everyone else says it is, it's good that he's returning then. And the next one you had, I had no idea Ridley Scott was going to have another movie come out this year. I think this
Yeah.
would be his fifth in the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, called The Dog Stars. After the world's population has been ravaged by a pandemic, a man lives a lonesome existence in Colorado in a Colorado airplane hangar with his dog and a dour gunman he has befriended. When a mysterious transmission comes through on the radio while he's flying his old Cessna, it sparks a hunt for the provenance of the sound. It's with Jacob Elordi, who was Frankenstein in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, or I say Frankenstein's monster to be
Mm-hmm.
completely accurate. He had Euphoria fame, all that. So Hollywood's favorite crush. He's on a movie that's on my list that I'll get to. Margaret Qualley, who played the young version of Sue in The Substance. She's in this movie. I know you're a fan of hers now. Josh Brolin, Guy Pearce, and Benedict Wong. A good cast.
Yeah.
And written by the guy that wrote The Revenant. So it might kind of have that type of vibe to it based off that plot and his style. So, and then last on your list, Madden by your favorite director of all time, David O. Russell, starring Nicolas Cage as John Madden. And as we talked about a few weeks ago, the craziest casting of all time, which is Christian Bale as the one and only Al Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, this man likes to transform. He fucking Optimus Prime, Megatron, whichever one you want to. That's what he did to become Al Davis. Because holy shit,
He got it down pat. He
the rest of the
just
cast is John Mulaney, Catherine Hahn, Sienna Miller, and Shane Gillis, which is funny. But yeah, this is the story of the legendary football coach turned video game salesman.
yeah. I would have liked to see Christian Bale actually be Madden and see how that would have played out.
Oh my god. Well, don't forget, I think the first story was Hugh Jackman was up for it instead of Nicolas Cage,
Yeah, I don't
which,
know how that would have
which
worked.
wouldn't have made any sense.
Yeah.
Uh, Instead, Hugh Jackman is playing old Robin Hood. If you saw that trailer, like I did,
Yeah. We talked about that like last week. Yeah,
we talked about that
I'm cool.
offline. But yeah, and then
I'm cool.
that's directed by the guy who will supposedly direct the Death Stranding live action movie. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'll wait for the Death Stranding movie. I'm cool in that Robin Hood.
but that was Banks's list. Here's how we'll segue into my list. Because what I did first was make a list of the movies I'm not looking forward to. And I'd say about half of them are on Banks's list. So at number one of the movies I'm hard fucking passing on this year, The Bride by Maggie Gyllenhaal. This probably had the worst trailer I've seen. I can't believe a studio didn't shelve this after seeing that trailer.
Yeah.
It looks horribly acted, horribly directed. The message of controlling women and the fucking patriarchy and the government and the system and all of that, I'm just like, oh my god, Maggie Gyllenhaal, get over your fucking A. Just because you were born ugly, fuck sake.
God
Just
damn.
like
Well, somebody like her.
no, well, yeah, Peter Krause, and he's in Peter Sarsgaard, and he's in this movie. But yeah, The Bride. Oh God! Again, Christian Bale's in this movie playing Frankenstein's monster, so he has got a double dip this year.
They trying to
And
make it like Bonnie and Clyde.
no, well, exactly. But it's more like the woman's version of Joker.
The woman's version is Joker.
Yes, this. What are women? What do we call women incels? If that's a term that exists.
Lesbians.
Are you proud of yourself for that one?
Absolutely not. I'm
You feel
never
like a big
proud of
man?
anything I
Hmm?
say
Hmm? You feel like a big shot, huh?
at all.
Oh my god. Number two is Scream 7. Fuck this movie.
They kept pushing that movie back because
It
oh
shouldn't have been made after they fired the star and then the
yeah,
new director. What? All right, they fired Melissa Barrera, Prussia, um, because she said she was pro Palestine, and Jenna Ortega walked after that. She said she wouldn't return.
Oh fuck this movie. She left. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
cool.
and then they additionally hired my guy Christopher Landon. He did the Happy Death Day movies, Scouts Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, the movie Freaky, a lot of solid action. Action horror comedies. He had The Drop last year, which I didn't enjoy as a movie, but I enjoyed his filmmaking in it. He's also the son of Michael Landon of Little House on the Prairie fame. But yeah, I was excited to see Chris Landon's version of Scream. We won't get it. So instead, the guy who created the franchise as a writer, Kevin Williamson, is directing this movie. And yeah, they're doing it right now. It's Sydney's daughter who they're coming after. Oh god, Kiki's excited for this movie. She loves the Scream franchise. I like the Scream franchise, but at the same time, it just always pisses me off every time we get to the final reveal scene. Just because
Right.
it's too Vince Russo swerve within a swerve, gotcha, but I didn't get you type shit. Um,
It's, this time it's gonna be Officer Doofy.
Basically, shit. That wouldn't that well. Oh, you had I forgot to put Scary Movie 6 on your list. That's my mistake. Um,
That's cool.
well, that's a
They
good
know what
segue
it
to
is
this.
with
I
me.
think I think Scary Movie 6 will be a bigger hit and a better movie than this. Um,
I hope so. That'll be great because that's independent.
yeah, and I also think the Naked Gun did all right as a box office hit in terms of this is the spoof comedy back. I think that was one reason why Marlon was finally like, let's get the new scary movie out there finally after years and years. Is that there still might be a market for the satire comedy, which dominated most of the 2000s with epic movie, disaster movie, date movie, all those, and then it got too much when we got the Starving Games, I think is what it was, and then Super Fast, which was the Fast and Furious version. All that. So we'll see if if it reignites the satire spoof genre completely after Naked Gun tried to get it rolling last year. Number 3 on my heart fucking pass is The Hunger Games. Sunrise on the Weeping. I don't like any, even though I've only seen the first one. I don't fuck with The Hunger Games.
Mm,
I hate dystopia. I hate bullshit like this. It just irritates me so much. Um, yeah, I don't fuck with the Hunger Games, and they continue to do these spin-offs and prequels. It's like, oh fuck's sake, just like learn your lesson from Harry Potter. No one wants to watch the prequel versions. Number 4, I have Michael, just because, as I said before, I'm not a fan of biopics, especially music ones. Uh, I think it'll be an okay movie. You know, Antoine Fuqua was a good director, but overall, I just hate music biopics. From Bohemian Rhapsody to fucking again, I didn't watch Elvis because again, I wasn't gonna watch Austin Butler trick people after 15 years of Hollywood trying to force him into becoming something, but still.
It was he did a
Six,
good job.
5, I have Clayface. Again, I don't want to watch DC's Morbius. James Gunn, stop producing bullshit and start producing real shit like Batman Beyond, fucking um, real movies we want to see. Don't give me your bullshit characters. Bring out the fucking big guns finally, you know? All right? Stop with
They coming.
Clayface.
Pause. He got the brave.
No,
He
they're
said,
not,
"Don't talk
because
to
he'll
me
be out of a
about
job
nothing."
in 4 years.
Nah, that deal. I think that deal like 10, somewhere around that.
Not when Netflix is going to have their say of like, hey, pal.
Yeah, that's true too.
6 and 7 combined because they were on your list. All right. Street Fighter. All the characters look bad. Cody Rhodes is in this movie. That's enough for me not to see it. Um,
That's the only thing I want to see him in.
so you can hear him go, Ryu, Ken, let's fight.
Yeah, just
While
about.
looking ridiculous with the hair. Again, like I said, this looks too much of trying to be the video game as a movie in terms of like let's make the characters look as close to their likeness.
I think that's the
Um,
point.
yes, we've needed Batman Beyond for the last 15 years instead of doing Batman again with Pattinson. Even though I enjoy it, that's what we needed, especially post Spider Verse when the other versions of the famous names proved to be successful. That's what we needed. Um, Mortal Kombat 2, my issue is Carl Urban, really good actor. I like him in a lot of stuff. He's not Johnny Cage. He is not. This is forced casting because these movies film in Australia and Carl Urban's Australian. Just like James Wan as a producer is Australian, just like the director Simon McQuaid is Australian, just like the actress playing Sonya Blade's Australian, like the actor playing Kane who's Australian, like the actor playing Liu Kang is Australian. This is Australian tax write-offs. It pisses me off that this movie is just made because they see the tax breaks in Australia and they casted it based off that. And the whole addition of the Cole Young character from the first one, creating a brand new character so fans could understand Mortal Kombat. No, you have great original characters. You didn't need to make a new one. We don't want to watch new characters. We want to watch Scorpion, Sub-Zero, right? That's what we want to watch. Not a guy who turns into bronze. Okay? Fuck you. So fuck this movie. And it's written by the guy who I've said has been a hack for years, Jeremy Slater, who did the Moon Knight TV show, who did the Fantastic Four version in 2015, which was abominable. So as I always tell you, look at the credits and you'll see if a movie's bad or good. Jeremy Slater is always attached to garbage. So Mortal Kombat 2, nope. Not getting my money, not getting my eyes. Number 8, John Madden. David O. Russell. I haven't seen a David O. Russell movie since The Fighter because he's only really had 3 or... Oh, no, since American Hustle.
Yeah.
Never mind. After American Hustle, he did Joy with Jennifer Lawrence. Never saw that. He did a movie that he took his name off of with Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Biel. I forget what that is called, but he hated that they hated his version, so he took his name off the movie. He did one of those things. And then he did... What else? He did that movie Amsterdam with Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, and John David Washington. You and I were both like, this looks terrible when we that because that was coming out right as the show was really on a roll. And then he had, I think, one other movie before that. But overall, David O. Russell has been one of Hollywood's biggest dickheads. Anyone who's ever worked with him will say that. Christian Bale is, I think, the only guy to defend him and continue working with him. Just because Christian Bale's a bit of a dickhead, as we've heard his audio tapes leaked. Yeah. Despite being an actual nice human being in terms of what he does for charity as well. But for some reason, he just wants to continue to collab with David O. Russell. He's just like, yeah, you're my guy, David. I mean, he got him his Oscar for The Fighter. Maybe that's why he feels indebted.
Yeah, and pricks get along too. That's just part of the game.
But you were Christian Bale. You were Batman before that. Like, you were already on a good career path. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how you can make a movie about John Madden and have it be entertaining or comedic or serious. I mean, John Madden just seemed like an easygoing guy. He was a good football coach and then a revolutionary play-by-play guy. So I don't know. I'm not excited. And again, this is an Amazon movie that will be in theaters and then on Amazon, I believe. Supergirl, like I said, I'm really just not excited for anything in the DCU at the moment. That trailer did not blow me away either. It looked very bland and boring. People are like, oh, they're just trying to do Guardians of Supergirl. I'm like, no, because Guardians is actually good. This just looks like they weren't trying to give too much of the action away, but then the story part of it seemed very dumb and like, okay, like she knows she's not a superhero because she's a drunk. Like, I also don't want to see Hancock but Supergirl. So, at number 10, Steven Spielberg's latest movie, Disclosure Day. Oh, God. I'm not saying Steven Spielberg hang it up, because I wouldn't tell Martin Scorsese or Ridley Scott to hang it up. But him going back to the well of aliens and the government and mind control, that trailer, I'm like, I'm not entertained by this trailer at all. I don't want to see... What are you trying to say that, again, society we're easily controlled these days, and who would believe it if we are? Like, okay, Steven, like, yeah, he, again, all-time revolutionary icon, legend. Would never put him down, but like this, I don't think is it for me.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the trailer to it. I just seen him talking about it, and that's it.
And again, people, these are my least anticipated movies of 2026. Now, the last 15 minutes before we close out will be my top 10. And there's going to be one movie on there and not on there. That's very glaring. And Banks will probably be mad that it's not on there. So at number one, I got Spider Man Brand New Day. Again, Spider Man is my favorite superhero character of all time. I'm excited for what Destin Daniel Cretton will do. I think the Punisher element, like we said earlier, will be a breath of fresh air to see Spider Man interact with someone like that. Tom Holland is a good actor, despite what anyone says, and he's always great as Spider Man.
Who
He's always
said
great.
he a bad actor?
People do, because when we get about the Odyssey, people are already criticizing his acting in the Odyssey trailer, like, "Oh, this kid, look at him try to, show he can act."
This
I'm like,
kid, that man like 30 years old,
well,
bro.
now he's 30 years old. Now he's my age, but he still looks like a kid. Again, he's
Yeah.
got the face of a 22-year-old, like,
I gotta
and the
excuse me
height,
too. My
and the
back's
height.
starting to flare up, so I gotta do
That's all
different
right.
things.
I mean, people were like, he's basically the modern day Michael J. Fox, and I would agree because they're both short guys who have that boyish charm for most of their
Yeah.
career.
Hey, and they made a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I love Michael J. Fox. Who doesn't love Michael J. Fox? Like, always entertaining, and even entertaining is the voice of Stuart Little. Like,
Yeah.
but Spider-Man: Brand New Day is my number one most anticipated movie of the year, and number two is The Odyssey, which we spoke. I don't need to go too much on it. It is what it is again. Like you, I enjoy the Greek myths, the ancient text.
Hmm.
I love 2004's Troy with Brad Pitt, Eric Bana, Brian
Yeah.
Cox. They could have done the Odyssey as a sequel to that movie, especially back then because Sean Bean played Odysseus in that movie.
Hmm.
And when Troy ends, the Odyssey starts because it's the Troy's been taken over. Achilles is dead. Spoiler alert. Um,
Man,
and,
go read a book. Ain't no spoiler
I'm
alert.
they successfully created the Trojan horse, which the Odyssey trailer showed. The giant wooden horse, and Odysseus is now going to take his men back home after war is over. So the Odyssey, I'm looking forward to it. Chris Nolan. I mean, you and I hyped up Tenet for a long time,
Yeah.
and it's a fine movie. It's a fun movie at times. It's obviously not his greatest. To me, that would either be Dunkirk or The Prestige. And Dunkirk was my favorite movie of 2017, which is actually a really good movie.
Dark Knight don't exist.
That's number three.
Shit.
Just because, again,
Go watch that again.
no, I always watch it, but I on any given day, I'd rather watch The Prestige or Dunkirk over the
And
Dunkirk.
those are two great movies, so I'm not even
Yeah,
mad at it.
well, it just speaks to like this guy's talent. Again, like number three, I got you didn't have it on your list, like you said. And I really like. All right, I like the Mandalorian TV show. Okay, do I agree the last season was its weakest? Yeah, and it wasn't because the Lizzo and Jack Black part of it. Yes, that was just a bad episode. That was a bad episode overall because they tried to make it a weird Mandalorian cop show for their 34 minutes,
Yeah.
and it kind of took you out of the main story, which was um, the Mandalorian infighting and all that. But I really like the first two seasons, and this is John Favreau's first movie since his Lion King. And this is also the first Star Wars movie since the movie you shit on a day ago, The Rise of Skywalker. And this is obviously going to lead to more Star Wars movies going into theaters. We're going to have to speak on that given what the turmoil at Lucasfilm, aka Disney, and Kathleen Kennedy's departure, which was about damn time. But Dave Filoni's appointment to the lead of Lucasfilm, which I'm like, again, the guy in his cartoons, okay, all right. Even though he is responsible for the Mandalorian success, I will give him credit for that. It was him and John Favreau together. But overall, in that trailer, it was very brief, very short. But I enjoyed it for what it is. Again, it's going to be a mixture of action and cuteness because Baby Grogu is still adorable after all these years.
Merch money.
Number four, I had to take off because I already watched it and it's already aired. So the Rip, we'll talk about that hopefully when you've seen it on the next episode. I recommend people go out and watch it. Very solid cop thriller. Not as much on the action side, but like I said, so if you're expecting a lot of gunfights and all that, It's more so that towards the last of it, but it's a good cop thriller. Good acting from Ben Affleck in particular, and Matt Damon. Really, Tiana Taylor doesn't have too much to do in this, which is unfortunate. Stephen Yeun
Yeah,
also really good in it as well. Um, so yeah, The Rip, I recommend it. It was number 4 on the list just because every year I get excited for a cop, especially a dirty cop movie,
yeah,
and that's what that's a genre I always enjoy. Number 5, Project Hail Mary. Ryan Gosling, directed by the guys who did 21 and 22 Trump Street. That first trailer, I'm like, because I don't know if it'll be too serious and maybe not funny enough. But I'm a Ryan Gosling stan. Again, I respect the hell out of Lord and Miller. They're responsible for 21, 22 Jump Street. Like I said, the Lego movie, especially the first Lego movie, phenomenal. Can't believe
hmm,
that's as great as it is. Obviously, they're the writers and producers of the Spider Verse movies. And yeah, this is their first live action movie since they had Solo taken away from them. And again, which we'll get into when we do our Lucas film Star Wars conversation on the next episode when we have more time to delve into it. But and my aunt just gifted me this book because it's based off a book written by the guy that also wrote the Martian book that got turned into the movie, the Martian with Matt Damon, and it kind of has that same vibe of a guy tasked to save something on his own. So number 6, Wuthering Heights. Very, my mom would probably be into this movie. I do all at times have an interest in the more so classic period pieces, but this is kind of turned up with its style because that style is Emerald Fennell's, very sexual, very colorful in terms of its lighting, very red, very bright blue, all that neon esque. She did Promising Young Woman in 2020, which was one of my favorite movies of that year. She won Best Screenplay, Best Original Screenplay for that film. She did the controversial Saltburn in 2023 with Barry Keoghan and Jacob Elordi, who's returning in this movie to co-star with Margot Robbie, who's produced, I think, both Promising Woman, Saltburn, and this movie as well. So she has a relationship with Emerald Fennell. This has Charlie XCX as a soundtrack, so this is going to be a very female-centric movie. Not probably not a lot of guys hyped up for this one, and the trailer, like I said, is very erotic, very innuendo, and at the times I do enjoy because it leads into a movie that I have at number 8. Um, Over the top in terms of style, like I said, cinematography, sound, and the depravity in terms of writing, because sometimes art is also about being depraved and creative and all of
hmm.
that. It's not always meant to be, like you said, super serious. It's meant to be gross or like in an entertaining way. Number 7, just because we haven't seen a trailer or any set photos, and the story of this movie, I don't know if it can follow the previous two, but that's Dune Messiah. It is supposed to come out this year, which I don't know how. Because they've been shooting it, but I thought the post would just take a long time. But Danny Villeneuve is gonna get it out this year, so he can then move on to do James Bond. You didn't? Did you just kind of overlook this one on accident? Are you excited for Dune Messiah?
They ever said I ain't seen the trailer, I ain't seen a teaser or nothing, so that's why I ain't really say nothing about it. Cause I got to go back and rewatch the second one. I fell asleep in the theaters, and I ain't
Oh,
saying I was
oh,
bad.
you made a mistake. That's a phenomenal
Yeah, I
film.
was tired in the motherfucker. That's all it
It
was.
is, yeah, it is a
I
long.
like
It
the
is a
first
movie.
one,
It is a movie that I have to strap in for because I think it might be the same length as the first one. They're both at that like 235, 240 range.
but apparently they just finished principal
Yep.
photography. So and then
Yeah,
they
that's why
trying
we don't
to
have a trailer.
yeah, and they trying to book out the IMAX theaters over Doom or over
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they trying to go against Doomsday. So I'm like, good luck with that.
One of those movies will move. It will probably be Dune.
Yeah, because Disney
Um,
already moved. We was in July, dog.
yeah, and that's because of the reshooting rumors of and
And then the
rewriting and all
VFX,
of
they
that.
actually
Yeah,
want to get the CG down.
yeah. Even though, as I get into why it's not on my list at the end of my list, but yeah, Dune Messiah. Robert Pattinson joins the cast. Jason Momoa is coming back. That has to do with his character being reanimated, which is from the books. Um, Florence Pugh, Anya Taylor Joy, Zendaya. Pretty much almost everyone returns. Josh Brolin, Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem. And I love the first two Dune movies. Just the way that I've heard in terms of the way the third one is written, it gets super crazy, super over the top. Um, so that's my only little worry about it. It's just like, how much are they going to stick to that, or is Denis Villeneuve kind of going to go in his own direction with it? Which I wouldn't be mad at if he took his own creative, because I love pretty much all of Denis Villeneuve's films. Number 8, I got a film by one of my favorite directors, Nicholas Winding Refn, and this is Her Private Hell, which not much is said about it in terms of um, plot, but it's an edgy, hypnotic, unhinged thriller based on an original story that promises a lot of glitter, sex, and violence. Much like I said, Wuthering Heights and Emerald Fennell, I said before, is kind of the female Nicholas Winding Refn. They kind of have the similar styles in terms of very colorful films, very erotic films, very even though her films are not as violent as Nicholas Winding Refn, who did Drive with Ryan Gosling, Olin God Forgives with Ryan Gosling, and then had two TV shows that I was pretty much the only fan of, which were Too Old to Die Young and Copenhagen Cowboy. Too Old to Die Young was on Amazon Prime. Copenhagen Cowboy was on Netflix. I don't want to say check those out just because your mileage may vary in terms of pacing and, like I said, depravity and like what the fuck is this show about? Because Nicholas Winding Refn is also tries to be David Lynch in his like it's about this story, but not really about this story and the weird and wacky characters you meet along the way. But I'm glad he's making a movie again. There's not an official date, but it is said to be that it'll be this year. Number 9, I got Werewolf by Robert Eggers, who did
Freaky
The
ass
Witch,
werewolf.
The Witch, The Lighthouse, The
I still got to
Northman,
watch the lighthouse.
and watch The Lighthouse. It's great. I haven't seen his Nosferatu. That was the
I
last movie he
see.
did.
That's why I said freaky ass vampire, freaky ass werewolf.
Well, it makes sense to stay within that realm of again the universal monsters and the historical monsters. So
Is
him
Johnny Depp
doing,
daughter back?
yep, she's in this movie.
Damn.
Well,
I
that's
know
his.
she. I know she
That's his
grown, but I had
muse.
to have a conversation with my daughter. Like, hey man, what you doing?
That's his muse at the moment. Willem Dafoe's in it. Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing the character that will become the werewolf. Um,
Okay, hold on. I might have to tap in.
who else is in it? Oh, Rolf Nielsen, yeah, another one of
Okay,
another reoccurring guy. He was Galactus,
I might
and
be tapped in. I didn't even think about this movie.
yeah, again, here's what it is. Set in 13th century England, the story focuses on local villagers who are stalked by a mysterious creature. As the attacks continue, ancient folklore and superstition bleed into a terrifying reality. While the official plot details are scarce, the film will be a historical take on the werewolf mythos, and also will have that very 13th century dialogue, because that's what Robert Eggers is a stickler for, is the way people talked, especially back then. So, because that's how he treated the witch.
Or thou owl, motherfucking
Yep,
werewolf killing
yep,
people.
stuff like
Or thou
that.
owl,
Exactly. But if
bitch.
you see the
Where is
set
your
photo,
daddy at? Jack
where
Sparrow.
if you see Lily Rose Depp, who you're talking about, her character seems somewhat deformed, so she won't be playing the pretty girl like she tends to do. She seems like, they got makeup to kind of have her look ugly and deformed.
Oh, she got her ass beat by the werewolf.
Who knows if it's pre werewolf or post werewolf? But
Oh, side
at
turn.
number 10 is are two films because one just had a release, but they starred the same guy. So it's How to Make a Killing, and this has a really fun trailer. This movie stars Glenn Powell. This is him trying to still be in his comedy bag and serious bag because he's playing a guy who, in order to collect his like fortune inheritance, he is going to kill all the family members ahead of him to do so. So it's kind of a dark comedy thriller type, kind of like Talented Mr. Ripley, but it seemed a little bit more comedic. And Glenn Powell will also be the star of the film that's next to it, The Great Beyond, which is J.J. Abrams' first film since The Rise of Skywalker. And this movie is basically a ripoff of what was that Macaulay Culkin movie where he becomes animated?
A page master.
Page Master, because this movie is an author of popular fantasy novels reveals that the mythical world he's known for creating is actually real, sending him on a quest. So Glenn Powell will play this author and go into this, and it's a ripoff, I guess, of Imagination Land. from South Park. And I think isn't there also a Brendan Fraser that's the same thing where he reads the books and they come to life, like Inkheart? Isn't that another one?
I think
Um,
so.
yeah. So J.J. Abrams again, never known for his originality. All he does is copy and paste. I've enjoyed his first two films a lot, which are Mission Impossible 3 and Star Trek 2009, as I call it.
Yeah,
Great films, phenomenal films. His career kind of tailed off after that because he did Super 8, which I watched last year for the first time. Fucking awful. It's almost as bad as Stranger Things in terms of it being a ripoff of Spielberg's classics. And then he did the Star Trek sequel, Into Darkness, which is okay. Um, it's fine. Force Awakens is good. It's the best movie of the new trilogy, but it's the same Star Wars movie we saw in the 70s, just updated. And yeah, he did Rise of Skywalker, which is the worst Star Wars movie of all time.
yeah.
I don't know why you rewatched it. I'll never rewatch it. I said to my dad, I know this is going to be bad as soon as the movie started, and they said there is a Sith GPS finder. I'm like, nope, that's terrible.
I like it now, man. It took me years, but we here. I ain't gonna
But
say
this
it's
is,
great, but I liked it.
like I said, so Glenn Powell, he's also has two projects just announced in this past week. One is called Tesseract. That'll be written and directed by Sam Esmail, the creator of Mr. Robot. So I'm looking for that because I enjoyed Mr. Robot. I think Sam Esmail is a great writer, and obviously, and he's one of my favorite directors just in terms of his style of framing and putting actors in the lower corner and having the shot reverse shot like the Coen Brothers. He doesn't have really dirty frames or shaky camming. That he's got very and good tracking shots as well. And he'll be the star of a Judd Apatow comedy, which I'll be a little bit worried because I think Judd Apatow's officially washed these days as a creator, where he'll be playing a country music star on the decline. And they announced that Christy Milotti, who was Sophia Falcone in the Penguin show, she'll be his co-star in that movie. So Glenn Powell, he's still trying to prove he's a movie star. He'll have Chad Powers season 2 come out. I enjoyed the first season of Chad Powers. It was just way too short, but that's because they weren't sure if the show was going to be a full-on hit, which is why they greenlight more episodes. So Glenn Powell, I'm still on the hype train. I'm still a believer. And this, after the Running Man, kind of didn't do what people thought it would. But again, it's a Stephen King IP, and those always really don't translate to box office success. Only really it has, because the last two movies that were based on Stephen King stuff both underperformed. That was Doctor Sleep and The Life of Chuck. But the last one, I only really put this on because the rip came out, which is Coyote versus Acme. It'll finally come out allegedly this year.
Hell no.
Yep, that's what they're saying. The long shelved Warner Brothers project because Warner Brothers greenlit it and got mad they greenlit it. I John Cena's in it. Will Forte's in it, and I like Will Forte. He's funny. But I just want to see how they do again. Live action meets Looney Tunes animation. I enjoy it because I grew up with it. Looney Tunes back in action as a kid. It was one of my favorite movies to watch as a kid. Again, and Space Jam, obviously, one of my favorite movies of all time. So Coyote versus Acme is the last one on my list. And yeah, that's the reason I don't have Doomsday is what I've said from the beginning. I am anti the direction they're taking in terms of bringing Robert Downey Jr. back. I think it was a bullshit move. They shouldn't have done it. It was very cowardice. They brought back the Russo Brothers because the Russo Brothers have shown their hacks. Because The Electric State was my worst movie of 2025. Anyone who wants to sit down and watch The Electric State, don't waste your time. I'll just tell you that straight. Don't see how bad it is just to see how bad it is. It's awful, poorly acted, poorly written, poorly directed. A waste of $200 million. That's why them coming back to do Doomsday and then Secret Wars. I don't know if they can recapture the magic they had with Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. I think they peaked. They did the Gray Man, which I liked, yeah, but that again could have been a lot better. So I'm not high on Doomsday. It doesn't mean I'm not going to see it, but it at the moment in these trailers, these teasers to me are such up their own assness in terms of thinking they're making a serious film and all of that. Um, then I see your comment again, a completely lazy BS move, and that you agree with what I'm saying.
Oh, you
Look,
see the negative shit. You don't see nothing else, all right?
I I know why they're doing it. Bob Iger and Disney, they're scared. They want the they want to be. I don't even think they're in the red, but they want to be out of the red. They want the green. They have Avatar: Fire and Ash, which, as you and I said, made over $1 billion, but James Cameron still talk about, I don't know if I can make the last two. If this isn't making enough money for me to
Right.
make the last two, am I not
Bro, you
hired?
already made them.
Shut up, James. Shut up. Just shut up. All right.
He shot all
You're
the movies already.
well, not just that. He's the most arrogant director, but now he's also acting like, oh, they won't let me make my little movies now. Maybe I don't know.
Dude, you got fucking, where is that at? In Manhattan Beach. Raleigh, Manhattan Beach, the studio I've been to. I worked at before. Dude, you own that studio. You
Not
got the
just
entire
that.
studio for yourself.
I think he also owns all the Avatar money based off the deal he signed in the first place.
Yeah. So him saying, I don't know about, dude, you got the studio. Disney's like, go ahead, do what you want to do.
But again, as you and I talked about, he funded a lot of deep sea diving trips, so maybe he might need to might need the money that they're going to provide him because, as you and
Cool.
I talked
You
about,
ran it up, bruh. Hooray.
exploring the depths ain't easy, ain't cheap either.
Avatar made a lot of money, and Zoe Saldana got one more black friend.
But to wrap up, again, this was my list. I forgot to put the damn banner. Ah, oh, that's my bad. These were my most anticipated of 2026. Does this seem like a very Davis list that I got?
It's your taste in movies, but for the most part, it's kind of stuff like I'll be interested to watch as well. Like I forgot about the Werewolf. Uh, the movie after Hail Mary, I can't see it. I might tap
Oh,
into
Wuthering
that.
Heights. Wuthering Heights. Yeah.
Yeah, I might watch that. Dune, I might watch that. So you got some stuff on here that I'm willing to watch. The Agni movie. It's just this is the most loaded year I could think of since because 2023 had a lot of movies that were good. But this year, bruh, this shit damn near every month is something coming out. So I gotta get that AMC pass. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff I missed. I ain't think about, and I'll be there regardless. It's just a good year to be a movie buff. And again, get that AMC movie pass. It's not advertising, but if they want to advertise, please do so. They want
I don't go.
sponsors.
There's not an AMC near me, so that's why I wouldn't advertise it.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But that pass is worth it this year. Just pay for this year, you straight.
Well,
But if you're
what
not
about
near
next year?
AMC, I don't know what you pay for because
Because next year we'll have allegedly at the moment. This is all asterisk stuff. Next year in 2027 we'll have Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Allegedly, they're still
allegedly,
drawing it. They're still animating it.
oh, that shit ain't coming out.
We'll have the Batman sequel after 5 years. Again, allegedly.
That's coming out.
We'll see.
They start shooting it in May,
We'll have Secret Wars, which we'll see.
December 2027.
Shrek 5. I'm not gonna watch Shrek 5. Those first ones I'll watch. I'll watch Spider Verse,
Wasn't Five supposed to
Batman.
come out this year?
I think they realized it was gonna take a lot longer to make because
And then
I
Mike
think they
Myers probably like, hey, I need you to up that pay too.
no, I think they just rushed the announcement and then they're like, oh, we actually got to make a full movie.
Yeah,
Man of Tomorrow, aka Superman 2. I will watch that begrudgingly. Frozen 3, that's not for you or I. Sonic the Hedgehog 4.
I'll be there.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2.
Yep,
The Legend of Zelda, the live action Legend of Zelda.
absolutely,
How to Train Your Dragon 2, not for you or I. Star Wars Starfighter. This is the Ryan Gosling one
absolutely.
directed by Sean Levy. And Lord of the Rings The Hunt for Gollum.
Yep.
Uh, A Quiet Place 3. I didn't watch the Quiet Place spinoff,
I didn't either.
but I like the first two Quiet Place movies. Minecraft 2 and allegedly Godzilla vs Kong Supernova. So
Hell no.
this would be the third Godzilla vs Kong movie. Uh,
Fuck no. I ain't
oh, and
watching
then
that.
a movie I talked about a few weeks ago, which is Fast, the Taylor Sheridan written movie starring Brendan Skelner. So, but that's a
Hey, y'all,
smaller.
Fast 11 might come out this year.
We'll talk about that when we see actual production photos, not AI ones.
Yeah. Yeah. They can make that movie in a month, so
When once Vin Diesel starts realizing what day it is, yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, come off that price. It'll come out this year, trust me.
And after Dwayne Johnson, because he'll have this year, Dwayne Johnson will have the live action Moana
Money.
and Jumanji 4. So the man, much like Robert Downey Jr., who said I'm not chasing the money anymore. I'm not chasing the box office anymore. I'm about the craft. I'm about the acting.
Shitting me.
Meisner, all of that.
Shitting me.
He's got Moana, which made I think $1 billion as an animated movie. Not the
Yeah.
sequel didn't do as well, and then Jumanji, which both made close to $1 billion.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, they were either at like 900 or 800. But both those Jumanji sequels he did were surprise box office hits. But I think they did the smart thing and released them around the holiday time, like in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that was a lot of family seeing that movie. But this coming 2 days from now, it's the Oscar announcements. I said he won't be nominated for Smashing Machine. You said he will be. What should our bet be? What will the loser do?
We'll talk off camera because I can't even think of it right now. You, brother, you got to give me, at this point in my life, a couple days to think about a lot of shit.
Well, we only have 2 days.
Give me till tomorrow when I can think about anything else.
Should we do something that has to be on air or
I'll
something?
come up with
Okay.
something.
Anyone listening, if you have ideas, leave them in the comments of this episode after it's posted. See if we can get a helpful hand from someone. Nothing too
Yeah.
crazy, and again, and something that would probably work for on air. What do you want to do? Push-ups? Do you want to
Come on,
push-ups
bro.
every 10 minutes? Do you want to
Come on,
do?
bro. Every 10 minutes. I can do them every 10
One of us
seconds.
has to sing a song. What do you want to?
50 burpees right now.
I don't know if I can do. My knee is killing me right now.
See, that's all right. My back hurt, but I give you 50 right now.
I would I'd have to do the officer and a gentleman. I got nowhere else to go.
You're going to
I
go on
got
that ground
nowhere
and hit the
else to go.
burpees. But we'll figure it out.
But thank y'all for tuning in. Let us know what your most anticipated or least anticipated are in the comments. We always appreciate the feedback. Like I said, I know probably Banks' list is most favorable compared to mine, just because his tastes are more. I'd say you're more in the
Teenage.
pop. No, I'm saying I think you're more in the populist than I am. I'm not saying I'm too indie or too hipsterish, but like I said, me not being excited for stuff like Street Fighter or Clayface, again, just more has to do like they make these movies just to fucking push IP out compared to some of the other stuff. And again, I'm still excited for IP. Like even the Odyssey's IP, it's a book from 1 million years ago. Like that's
Right.
IP. So I'm never one to like down IP, but it's just one of those things like these are the types of IP you pick when there are so much better shit out there. Like, yeah. So make sure you're liking the videos, leaving any comments, positive, negative. We appreciate regardless. Make sure you're subscribed, share, tell a friend, all of that, and turn those notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live. We'll be back, like Bank said, maybe Friday, so that way you can watch the games on Sunday. And that episode probably will be a short one. We might have to have this wrestling conversation that we've been having in our messages, unless something crazy happens in between then too. But thank you all for tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter at Davis, aka Drip, Instagram Davis DC. Even though I really don't post that much on either. Banks has social media, but he really doesn't want you to follow him there. Um,
Yeah, follow
but
that YouTube because
follow him
that's
on
where the money is.
RAOP, follow him on Black Announce Table with Wiretap, all that. Shout out to Black Announce Table. They're probably live right now on Twitch. I know Banks wants to go and check that out to support the fam.
They are. That's all I was looking at it right now. My fault.
Yep. No. I'm saying, and plus, like I said, I gotta sit down because my knee is achy. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
What can you say? Welcome